What's up, guys? My name's Karsten from the YouTube channel KTO, and today I'm here with De'Aaron Fox, and we're gonna be talking about some underdogs and all things that are underrated. This video is sponsored by YouTube Red for their new show, Cobra Kai. Was there ever a time when you would say you were an underdog in a sport?
Like middle school playing like soccer and PE, because there were actually some guys on the soccer team, but I would just like kick it and run around everybody because I was so much faster than everybody. So, I mean, I was an underdog as far as skill went, but physically and just talent made up for it.
Have you ever been an underdog when you slid in the DMs and then you came out successful?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I have. I was shooting my shot. I was like, you know what? The worst thing that can happen right now is she doesn't respond. So I did it. Now I got a number. Yeah. Yeah, I got that one. I was definitely an underdog at that moment.
Most underrated item on the Taco Bell menu?
Cinnamon twist. I don't know a lot of people that get the cinnamon twist.
Why do you like it?
You've had it. Cinnamon twist is delicious. So
okay.
Anytime I go to Taco Bell, no matter what, like I get that. Even if I don't want Taco Bell at the moment and somebody else does, I'm gonna get it.
Okay, so people in California are gonna say the In-N-Out's better, and I know you like Whataburger, so what should I get at Whataburger to convince me to change my mind?
I think you should get the honey butter chicken biscuit, that's breakfast, and the honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich. Anything with chicken at Whataburger, fire. Better than everything on In-N-Out's menu. And their secret menu, and whatever else y'all wanna make up.
Okay, gummy candy.
Gummy candy, I would say like Sour Patches. I don't like gummy bears, they get like nasty quick. I can only eat like 3 or 4.
So sour?
Yeah.
Okay, most underrated NFL wide receiver?
I would say, DeAndre Hopkins, for the most part. I mean, I grew up in Houston, so I've always seen him. But before, like a year or two ago, I would say he was definitely the most underrated receiver.
You think if him and Deshaun Watson can get it clicking, he's going to be a top dude in the league?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's already one of the best receivers in the league
good,
now.
Yeah.
But I think, having a really good quarterback, that would take him to a whole nother level.
You think if he was on like the Patriots or something, he'd be like,
oh, yeah, of course. Last few Texans they've started to, inch their ways and claw their way into the playoffs. But before, when they weren't really winning, he was still putting up good numbers, and, he was definitely underrated then.
What is your most underrated sport that you like?
I would have to say tennis. I could watch tennis. Like, I would watch tennis over like golf. I'll watch tennis over soccer. Just gotta kind of know some of the tennis players. And
What do you like about it?
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what I like about tennis, but like during the off season, you kind of wake up sleepy, and tennis matches start so early, and you just turn on ESPN or something, and tennis is on, and I'll just sit there and watch it.
Most underrated Drake album?
I would have to say Heartbreak Drake 2. This is when he first started. Songs like Juice, The Winner. Like, not many people. Like, if I have somebody with me, I'm like, yo, have you heard the song? And they'll be like, nah, I've never heard that. So I would definitely say, it's a mixtape, but Heartbreak Drake 2, I would definitely say is the most underrated by him.
Instead of asking you the album for Kanye, most underrated song?
Most underrated song by Kanye? RoboCop. Yeah, I'll go with RoboCop. It's on 808 Heartbreak.
What do you like about it?
I don't know, I just vibe to that song. Like, I still play it to this day. And I would say that album probably came out when I was still in either elementary school or middle school.
Most underrated musical artist right now?
Most underrated musical artist. So, I listen to a lot of artists. But, if you asked me like a year and a half ago, I would have said Logic. Just because, he blew up at the VMAs that he blew up at or whatever. I would still go with him just because, people know, the 1-800 song, but that's kind of the only song people know by him. So I would definitely say Logic just for his other content, other material that he puts out.
Most underrated Air Jordans?
Most underrated J's? I would say I would honestly say the Cool Gray 11s. A lot of people know about it, but I still think that's an underrated shoe.
What about Air Nikes?
Nikes. Definitely, they were fly nets. I still have a pair. I've had them since I was, I think, a freshman in high school. I still have them. Definitely the most underrated pair of Nike shoes.
What do you like about them?
They're just so comfortable. It's like runners, like some running shoes. It came out around the same time free runs came out. Yeah, so I would definitely still say fly nets are the most comfortable shoe I've had.
Most underrated off-white Nikes.
Most underrated off-whites, I would say the Vapor Maxes. They have a black off-whites and the white ones. I would definitely say one of the pairs of Vapor Max though.
Why?
Not a lot of people honestly wear Vapor Max. You know, everybody wants like the off-white ones, the off-white Prestos, stuff like that. So I would definitely say the Vapor Maxes are the underrated ones.
So how about the most underrated character from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Most underrated character from Fresh Prince, I would say Uncle Phil. I just feel like without him, a lot of Will's, moments wouldn't be there. So I'd definitely say Uncle Phil.
Fortnite or Call of Duty?
COD. I've always been COD since 4th grade. I was in about 4th grade. Call of Duty 4, the first Modern Warfare. Definitely. Fortnite is on top right now.
What do you think is the most underrated Call of Duty?
I would say, man, that's tough. I would say Modern Warfare 3 is the most underrated one. I would say Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2 are probably the best. My favorite's COD 4, the first one that I played. But I think Modern Warfare 3 is definitely underrated.
Going back to Fortnite, most underrated landing spot.
This is my favorite too, though. So I would say the most underrated landing spot in Fortnite is Haunted Hills. Yeah. I know where all the chests are in Haunted Hills, so I think it's very underrated. I feel like the only time people go is when like the bus flies over it. Other than that, I'm going every time though.
Yeah, unless the zone ends up in
The
right
zone
corner.
never goes over there.
No.
So I go collect what I need to collect, and then run all over to. Cause I'm having, where do I have to go through? I always have to go through Pleasant Park, and a lot of people land there. So.
Most underrated game from like the PlayStation 1 era.
I had a fishing game. That's the most underrated game. I don't remember what it's called because Sonic is always popular no matter what console it's on. So I would say the most underrated game for myself, it was a fishing game. I don't remember what it's called, but it was on Dreamcast.
You played a lot?
I played it all the time. It was so fun.
Most underrated soda brand.
Fanta, definitely. Almost all flavors of Fanta. You ever been like Wingstop and you see like the big machine? I've probably had all the flavors.
What's your favorite flavor out of those?
I would say grape.
Okay, so you're talking about Wingstop. What's your most underrated flavor of wing?
Most underrated flavor of wings. Oh, so not from Wingstop. This is at B-Dubs. So it is, I want to say 3rd on the hot list. It's mango habanero. They're actually so good, but it's so hot. If you can get past the fact that they're so hot, trust me, they're delicious.
If you had to choose one, would it be B-Dubs or Wingstop?
I would say B-Dubs. Yeah.
Most underrated Snapchat filter.
Most underrated Snapchat filter. Definitely not the dog. Definitely not the little pink thing that come across. I say like the little what's that thing? It's kind of like a headband, but it got like flowers and stuff on it. I don't know what that filter's called, but if females know what I'm talking about.
So your team's the underdog going into a big game. If there was a movie that you could show them to motivate them, what would it be?
If there's a movie, I'm gonna show them Karate Kid. Yeah, the one with Jaden Smith. You know, the ending made me cry. I wasn't crying. I'm not gonna lie, but I like that movie, and he really overcame adversity. So,
most underrated NBA rookie.
I think John Collins was really underrated from in Atlanta. I think he was really underrated this year.
What'd you like about him?
I mean, he's so athletic. He went to Wake Forest. He's extremely athletic. He plays a 4 or 5. In the NBA, he can play the 5, and defensively, he was great.
Who's the most underrated player that you've played against?
I would say Goran Dragic. He was an All-Star this year, but the body work that he's put in his whole career, I would say he's definitely underrated.
Most underrated aspect of being a rookie?
I would say first and foremost is playing against like your favorite player. I think that's kind of underrated from other people's perspective. Like when I played Russ and John, first, before the game, I'm thinking like, this is cool. I'm really about to play guys that, I watched growing up. And I don't think, people from the outside looking in, know how much that means to rookies, when it's their first time playing against guys like that.
When you're about to have that moment, is it like insane nerves?
Yeah. I mean, I'm nervous before every game, but, games like that, it's like, wow, like, we're really about to play against these guys. And, those are guys you grew up playing 2K with, and you always wanted their team, and now you're playing against them. So I definitely think that's the most underrated part of it.
When you played at Kentucky, were you guys ever the underdogs?
We were the underdog, I want to say, in maybe 2 games. The last game against Carolina, and I think we were the underdog in the Louisville game because it was at Louisville. We lost both of those games, so.
Most underrated way to shoot your shot with the girl?
Most underrated way? So, I'll put the... All right, it will be the eyes with the little delicious face or whatever. Like the face was like his eyes are closed and his tongue is like that. It's like something tastes good or whatever. So you don't put the whole tongue. That's like, you're gonna do that. That's nasty. But the other one's kind of like the same thing, but it's not looked upon as the same thing. I think it's just easy. You don't even have to say words. It's the eyes. You can put 2 eyes, 3 eyes, whatever. Or I put the eyes with like the little like delicious emoji. So it's like his his eyes are closed and his tongue's like something tastes good, like he's satisfied or something like that. So I would rather that than the tongue. The tongue is like so straightforward and you don't want to put the tongue. That's too early.
Yeah, so that's not in person. You're like sliding in DMs.
No. This is shooting your shot in like on social media. I wouldn't do it on Twitter. Everybody see that. Like Twitter is OD with that. But with Instagram, I would like put it under like an old picture, and like cause like DMs is kind of hard. Yeah, sometimes they don't see it, but put it under a picture. They see that and they'll like it, and then like that's when you good.
Instagram's the way to go.
Yeah, Instagram's definitely the way to go. I mean, you got screenshots and all that, but.
Okay, this is completely unrelated to what we're talking about, but can you do your best Lilo and Stitch impression?
Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. I don't even know when I started that. I think it started like sometime in like elementary school. I started doing it, and then
I can still do it now.
So that's gonna wrap it up for us talking about underdogs and all things underrated. I just want to thank De'Aaron for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Be sure to check out the Cobra Kai YouTube channel for more awesome content related to the show once live. All episodes streaming May 2nd.